So it's a day of many different street demonstrations. I'm going to tell you about most of them over the next half an hour, but we've got to start with Turkey because once again Taksim Square has played host to fierce clashes between police and protesters. If we go right in, we can see where the square is in the city, and it's in and around this area of Istanbul. The Anatolia news agency says several demonstrators have been injured and at least 5 have been detained. Now let me show you some of the pictures we've got here in the BBC newsroom of those clashes. I'll just pull these up for you. You can see that water cannon is being used. Now Turkish media said that some 40,000 police could have been deployed on this day, May Day, in Istanbul. You've got to see this in the context of Prime Minister Erdogan's animus relationship with these protesters. So that's what was going on in one part of Istanbul. Let me show you what Selin Girit saw. She's from BBC Turkish and she's also in Istanbul.
I am in the Beşiktaş district of Istanbul. This place is like 15 minutes away from Taksim Square. From early morning, protesters have been gathering in this spot and there has been police intervention since early morning. Over there, there's a water cannon and there are many protesters in front of it. I have seen protesters throwing stones at the police and police responding with tear gas and water cannon. Many people here are wearing their gas masks because of the excessive use of tear gas, and I have difficulty speaking to you at the moment as well. There is also a police line in that road over there, and there are many protesters just waiting to see what might happen. Their ultimate aim is to lead to Taksim Square, but on the road there are many police lines, and it doesn't seem very realistic that they might end up there without further clashes taking place.
There's Selin with the gas mask just hanging on her arm there. But it wasn't just in Istanbul where people turned out on the streets for May Day. Let me just pull up the outside source quad here on our screen and I can show you pictures that we've had from 4 other different places. First of all, on OS1, we've got pictures from Paris where the National Front turned out for its annual May Day march. Marine Le Pen addressed these crowds that you can see here. There she is with a gentleman holding an umbrella for her. If I pull this up, it's from Dhaka in Bangladesh. These garment workers are all dressed in red, demanding better wages and better conditions for themselves. From Bangladesh, we've got a feed here from Cuba because there was a huge parade through Revolution Square in Havana. Raul Castro, the Cuban leader, addressed the crowds. Officials are saying that 600,000 people turned up. You can certainly see there are many, many people there. And last but not least, if we bring up these pictures from Moscow, this was in Red Square. Really echoes of when the Soviet Union was united, with around 100,000 people turning out, a real expression of national pride. And don't see this as being anything like what you saw in Turkey. Most of these people will be considered supporters of Vladimir Putin.